So this is pre-alarm. I've got the pre-alarm set to I think 3 on these. Full alarm is 5. So bedroom 1, level 2 will be red. It's weird that this has been more sensitive than these guys, but it's at a pre-alarm level. So you can acknowledge that and okay. So there, this second one went off here. This guy's actually back to normal, but this hallway device went off. So we're gonna shut the bedroom door. Okay, what's going on in here? So I'm actually not sure here if one of 2 things happened. I'm thinking probably this one went into pre-alarm and then went past the pre-alarm threshold into the full alarm threshold and set off into the full alarm. Or I'm not sure if there's some feature I don't know about that if 2 devices go into pre-alarm, then it goes into a full alarm. I don't think so. I think maybe this one just went into pre-alarm and I didn't notice it because maybe I needed to scroll the display more. Or this one went into it after I had left the annunciator and then went past into the full alarm threshold. So I think that's probably what happened. So I'm actually surprised the stairwell device isn't. Because I haven't reset the system in the house, it's still technically an alarm. The garage fire alarm system here is in a supervisory. You can see fire alarm in-house. That's an auto resetting supervisory though, so once it clears, it'll go back to normal. I made that video I started the video in there to show off the pre-alarm, what happens because I've got pre-alarm set up. I actually have a video on setting that up, but then we went into full alarm and not a fault of the system at all. People always say, oh, you need to change it out to put heat detectors in. No, the system worked exactly how it was supposed to. The hood fan over the stove just needed to be on at a higher level. It was on really low and some smoke set it off. And if I was more quick to react to the pre-alarm, instead of just messing around making a video, that would have been preventable. But really just turn the fan on to a higher mode. There was plenty of smoke. The system worked as it needed to. And if it was actually an issue like I thought it was oversensitive, I could change the sensitivity on those detectors and bump up the full alarm level. It's nice to have the pre-alarm level pretty low though, as it gives you a heads up before it goes off, just like how it worked today. Because that went off, that did drop the fire door here. That let go of that. It also shut down our furnace, which it's a hot day, so it would be good to get the furnace back on for the dog. So I'm going to go for a system reset now. I'll do it from here since I can acknowledge it a little bit faster. But the annunciator still beeped, so this should reset. Our relay will go back to normal. That will bring our HVAC system back online. And by the way, people are going to ask, why do you have this in your house? Well, this is what I do for work. So I have an interest in this and I show it on YouTube to other people, show how these commercial systems work. And I actually put it in my house because the old smoke alarm system in the house, you can see that reset there. So I'll go back normal. Anyways, the old smoke alarm system was just terrible with false alarms. You may say, well, didn't this cause a false alarm? But I wouldn't say it did because there was a lot of smoke in it. And with that pre-alarm, it actually does warn you before. There you go. That system's back on. So I have this in my house. As it works better, it gives me more customizability than I have with the residential alarms. It's safer, works better, and I make videos to educate others on the subject. So this door will stick back open here. It is pretty smoky in here still, but we can close this up. Hopefully no more alarms come, but if they do, I will get a pre-alarm first, of course. Anyway, there we go. Now that I think about it, that bedroom detector actually went off earlier because I have the sensitivity turned up on those. I think they do pre-alarm at a level 3, full alarm at like a 5 or 6. And the hallway devices, because I suspect smoke to be more likely in the hallway, and that stairwell device, basically the devices that don't have any walls separating them from where smoke's going to come from, those I think are pre-alarm at like a 5 and then full alarm at an 8. Might be a little more sensitive than that. I can't remember, but they're a little bit more sensitive. So that'd be why that device went off first. So here's a still image of when I first went up to the annunciator during the pre-alarm. You can see it says pre-alarm, smoke, photoelectric, bedroom number 1, level 2. And you can see that that indeed does go into a pre-alarm at level 3. And you can see that we are at 53% to a full alarm level. You can see that it's just over half. I do want to take a quick look into the history of the panel, just curious on the list of events with how it kind of unfolded. It's a little noisy because we're running the air handling unit right now, but we can go in, look at the history, just because I'm curious. We will go to read status and we will do history. So that's when we went back to normal. Let's go to the very beginning here. Okay, so this was Sunday, but this was back on the 2nd. Today's 23rd. And then you can see our first event here was pre-alarm. We were at 44% of level 3. I don't exactly know how that works. I thought maybe 100% is full alarm. I don't quite know how that's set up, but you can see first we went into pre-alarm, bedroom number 1, 44%. And then we have, next, we have an alarm, which I don't know why we jumped straight to an alarm when I acknowledged it, but maybe it didn't register that acknowledge of the pre-alarm for some reason. Then we have alarm smoke there, acknowledge, signal silenced. And then we have that cleared, I guess, the pre-alarm cleared once it went back down to 24%, maybe? I don't exactly know how you read that. System reset, initialization. Yeah, it's kind of weird because it seems to be missing a few things. I would have thought we would have had pre-alarm set up on that detector. I guess we can go in to read point. It would be device number 8, or detector 8, I should say. Detector 008. So I thought that means pre-alarm at 5, full alarm at 8. Same with that detector. And then the bedroom is, how does that work? Pre-alarm at 3 and full alarm at 3? I don't get that. Do I not have pre-alarm? No, it said it. I said it got it. It told me I had a pre-alarm on that device. I don't know, to be honest, what's going on. I may have just not set up pre-alarm on the bedroom devices. Okay, well, there you have it. There's not much else to say. That is the 3rd time I've had some sort of alarm here. 2nd in the house, and I've had a couple in there. One of them was weird. That was from, I believe, a bug in a smoke detector. And I would say, like, oh, that was the 3rd false alarm, but it's not really a false alarm. I've never actually had a false alarm in the house where the system went off at a time it shouldn't have. It was an unintended alarm, but not a false alarm, because the system did work properly. It did alert of smoke exactly how it's supposed to, so it wasn't a false alarm. This building, on the other hand, that system did have one false alarm where it shouldn't have gone off, which I believe was from a small bug in a smoke detector. It's gone off other times from sprinkler flow, but it was user error on my part with filling the system. So yeah, 2nd time for the house. That system's been there, well, I don't know, probably almost a year now. In a couple months, it'll be a year. I think, almost. So yeah, it was justified for that to go off. Anyways, I thought I'd make a quick video on it. I'm sure there's been like 20 seconds of fire alarm and now 10 minutes of talking or so, but I gotta tell my story. So there you go, guys. Anyways, dinner was smoky, but it did taste good.